Good evening, class. And this is a special video I'm preparing for the Chapter 12 homework that's due tonight. Now, um, I want to let you know a couple of things. First of all, when I assigned this, um, I overlooked a couple of things here. One of them was that we didn't exactly do problems exactly like this when we met in class. We had for the first four, you'll be able to get through those. Number five in this homework assignment was just choosing whether a cost is relevant or irrelevant. And the most important thing about that is to realize costs are only relevant to the decision if they have an impact on the cost of what we're doing in that particular decision. So if you have sunk cost, it's always irrelevant. So things like depreciation are always irrelevant to that decision. If we get into a decision whether we're buying or selling a machine, if we're going to trade out one machine for another, the cost of the new machine is relevant. The sales price of the old machine is relevant. However, if we're involved in looking at a different constraint in the manufacturing process, the costs that are the constraints are going to be relevant. Things like direct materials, direct labor, variable overhead, and so on. But anyway, for number five, I think you can get through that, and I think you understand exactly because we did talk about that quite a bit. But for number six here, I want to go through this with you because I think this may be a bit different from what we did in class. And like I said, when I assigned these, I did not realize how different they were. So I got a couple questions. I want to answer them, and I'm going to give you this video to guide you through completing these types of problems. I also think it's important that you have this reference when you're preparing for the final exam as well. So to start with, we're looking at problem six, which is Imperial Jewelers. They manufacture and sell gold bracelet for $189.95. The company's accounting system says that the unit product cost is $149 as shown below. And they give direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, and then the total product cost. Now, the members of a wedding party have approached Imperial Jewelers about buying 20 of these gold bracelets for a discounted price of $169.95 each. The members of the wedding party would like special filigree applied to the bracelets that would require Imperial to buy a special tool for $250, and that would increase the direct materials cost per bracelet by $2. The special tool would have no other use once the special order is complete. Okay, so then coming down into the second paragraph, to analyze a special order opportunity, Imperial Jewelers has determined that most of its manufacturing overhead is fixed and unaffected by variations in how much jewelry is produced in any given period. However, $4 of the overhead is variable with respect to the number of bracelets produced. The company also believes that accepting this order would have no effect on its ability to produce and sell jewelry to other customers. Furthermore, the company could fulfill the wedding party's order using its existing manufacturing capacity. So, thinking about what is relevant and not relevant, I want to go through this with you together. So, first of all, direct materials per unit is relevant, direct labor per unit is relevant. But based on this determination that they made about most of the manufacturing overhead being fixed, the only part of the manufacturing overhead that will apply or be relevant to our calculation is this $4 per unit of variable overhead for the bracelets. In addition, we need to consider the additional cost for material for the bracelets of $2 each and the cost of the tool that we're going to buy specifically to fill this order. So I want to walk down here to the basically the calculation itself. So this is in the first column a per unit uh, basis, and this is going to be what we looked at in the problem. So we're going to sell these to the wedding party for $169.95. and we're going to sell 20 bracelets. So we're going to take that times 20. So we have a total incremental income of $3,399. So that's the total incremental income. Now we need to come up here and pick up these direct material costs and direct labor costs per unit. So we're going to do incremental cost for variable costs. The direct materials are going to be $84. We're going to use that. We're going to use the direct labor cost of $45. And so we're going to multiply those times 20 as well to come up with the total cost of this order. Now we get to variable manufacturing overhead. And based on this analysis, the only thing we're going to think about is this $4 item right here. So if we go down here, we say, okay, $4. And so we're going to take that times 20 because the rest of this fixed overhead is unavoidable and it's going to be there. So the difference between the 20 and the 4, the $16 per unit, is fixed, and it's unaffected by variations in the amount of manufacturing that they do. So it's not relevant to our decision. We do have a special filigree that we need to put on the bracelet. So that is this $2 item right here per bracelet. So we're going to add that as additional cost, and that will be $40. And so we have total variable cost on a per unit basis of 135, and we have total variable cost in total for the whole order of 2,700. Now we're going to have some fixed costs that we need to deal with as well, and that is this tool that we have to buy, this $250 tool that we really won't use again. So we need to add that in here for fixed cost. So the total incremental cost for this special order will be the 250 plus 2,700. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take the $33.99 in income and subtract out the $29.50 to get the financial advantage of accepting the order. Because it's a positive number, it is a financial advantage. So they should do this special order. That's the conclusion. For problem number 7, like I said, we didn't really touch on this as much in class. And this is a decision about processing beyond the split off point. What we have are joint products. Many times when you manufacture something, you will have joint products that will come out of the same material. The closest thing that I can really think about right away that this would happen with would be in an oil refinery, because you're going to produce in the oil refinery, you may produce gasoline, you may produce diesel fuel, you may produce oil that is a lubricant, and so forth. So you have all of these different products coming out of the same material, the same raw material. And that's what we're thinking about here. So we have a process of manufacturing where we have 3 joint products. And when we say the selling price at the cutoff point, basically that cutoff point is when these 3 products become distinguishable and in separate products. So at the split off point or the cutoff point, we have product A that would sell for $16 a pound, product B that would sell for $8 a pound, and product C that would sell for $25 a gallon. Now, the quarterly production for product A is 15,000 pounds, product B is 20,000 pounds, and product C is 4,000 gallons. So, what they tell us then is we could process these products more after the split off, and we would not incur any additional, we would not require any additional facilities or cost. Well, we will need an extra cost, but we won't require any additional facilities. Um, but we will have some extra costs if we go ahead and process it further. So for product A, if we process it further, we're going to spend $63,000 to do that. And we will have a new sales price after processing of $20 a pound. For product B, it'll cost us $80,000 to process it. And after we get done processing, we'll have a sales price of $13 a pound. And then for product C, the cost to process further will be $36,000, and we'll have a $32 per gallon sales price after we process. So in this problem, they want to know, okay, so what is the financial advantage of processing or disadvantage of processing each of the three products beyond the split off point? So beyond this initial point right here, what is the advantage or disadvantage of taking these and actually processing them on? So I'm going to walk through this calculation with you. So we start with what will be the selling price after we process these further. So for product A, it's $20 a pound. For product B, it's $13 a pound. And for product C, it's $32 a gallon. Now, what was the selling price to split off point? Well, for product A, we had $16, and product B, we had $8. So 16, 8, or not right there, $8. And then product C was $25 a gallon. What we want to do is say, okay, what is the difference between the revenue we'll get if we produce further and what we would get if we'd sold it to split off? So we're just going to take the incremental revenue, which is the difference. For product A, the incremental revenue is $4 a pound. For product B, it's going to be $5 a pound. And for product C, it's going to be $7 a gallon. Okay, so now we want to see what's the impact going to be? What kind of revenue are we going to generate? So we'll take this quarterly production and put that in here for quarterly output. So we have 15,000 pounds of product A. We have, what do we have for product B? 20,000 pounds. For product C, we had, what was it? 4,000 gallons. So we take 4,000 gallons. Now we want to take the quantity we're going to manufacture in the quarter, multiply it by the incremental revenue, and we get the total revenue for the quarter if we process, or the total incremental revenue or increase in revenue if we process beyond the split off point. So we're going to do that for each of these. I'm just copying it over, but basically what it is 20,000 times 5 is going to be 100,000, and 4,000 times 7 will be 28,000. Okay, we're almost done, but now we need to compare this additional revenue with the incremental processing costs. In other words, the cost that we're going to incur if we process beyond the split off point. Because of this, these are going to be negative numbers. So we have a negative 63,000 for product A right here, see? So I'm going to put that in the format, the accounting format. And then we're going to have here 80,000 costs, $80,000 in cost for product B. And again, I want to do this as a negative number. Simply because I want to show the advantage or disadvantage of processing further. And then for product C, we have $36,000 in the additional processing right there. So change the format here. And now when we compare these, we take the 60,000 minus the 63,000, or 60,000 and have 63,000 subtracted out, and we have a negative $3,000 in, and that means that's a disadvantage. So it will cost us more to process it further than what we would make in the revenue if we processed it further. With this one, we're going to have a positive number. We're going to have $20,000. And so that means we have a financial advantage of processing it further. And with this one, we're also going to have a negative number, which will be the 8,000. And because it's a negative number, this is going to be a financial disadvantage of processing further. So to answer this question, based on this analysis, which product should be sold at split off and which should be processed further? The only product here that should be processed more would be product B. Product A and C wouldn't pay. You'd lose money if you process those further. Anyway, I wanted to give you this video based on some of the questions I got. I hope this helps. And I will have some material tomorrow for chapter 14, and I will have some more announcements then. So take care. I hope this helps.